Check this out. We got a new laser cutter. Today will be a start to finish on this new laser. We'll get it out, test it out, and see how well it stacks up against the other laser cutters we've reviewed and tested on the channel. I have high hopes. I wouldn't have accepted it for review otherwise. I very rarely accept things for review, except, well, laser cutters lately. Laser cutters and engravers, because I think they're a wonderful tool, and I think they're usually a fair bit of money. And I normally don't show unboxings and stuff either, but with stuff like this is pretty good money. So you want to know whether it's going to arrive intact. And in this case, it looks pretty awesome, except other way around. Bottom side sure looks good. That's a good sign. These boxes were double boxed and arrived, well, as you see them, pristine. Not a speck on the exterior, so I suspect as long as the interior is packaged well, we should be in good shape. So this package is labeled laser film cutting mat. So they give you by default, this is a step up over the previous laser cutter I reviewed. This is a step up over the X tool. They give you nothing to do any of your work on whatsoever. Cutting mat, nice touch. It fits in the box. I still think we should get a honeycomb every time, but we'll get into that later. So this is the Pergear Laser Engraver manual. How does it... Wow, okay, it stacks up pretty well. Actually pretty impressive. But I'll know more once I take a look through it. Packaging, really good. This is what you get in the box. Everything is in its own little area. I don't foresee any problems here. Oh, cool. Nice touch. Good job. Desiccant in the box. Only costs a few cents, and it may just save a whole unit from potential damage. If you get a little bit of moisture in here for extended time on the shelf, that could save it from having everything covered in corrosion. Pretty cool. I have to say, the X tool was good in the packaging. This unit is better. Everything is individually wrapped and little dividers put over every of the pieces of extruded aluminum, so nothing's scratched. Everything's just nestled just in perfectly, but spaced out. So if you're spending your hard-earned money, this is where it's at for shipping. Well done. And this is what you get in the box. Not much to it in the end. No damage to anything. It's perfectly spotless. 3 brackets, 2 long extruded aluminums with limit switches. A little nope, these are not optical. These are just good old switch, which is cool. I have lots of those to replace one if I ever have a problem. The other cross brace, and our gantry, which comes fully assembled. Good. I like that. Belt's in place too, so good to go. Pretty impressive stuff. First kind of gripe is the manual is these kind of drawn, scanned, not real images like clip art, but they redeemed themselves. They took the time to do the bags in step 1, 2, and 3, and that's quite literally all the pages there are. And the tools are bundled, and that is one of the nicest wrenches I have ever seen in a kit. That's chrome vanadium steel, and that is a damn nice wrench. That is similar to what I'd expect from some of my Snap-on ones, except it doesn't have a box end. Damn, that's really nice. Wow. All right. Pretty cool.
This episode brought to you in part by PCBWay. Check them out at the link below for your next electronics project. They offer competitive rates for all PCBs, parts, and assembly, as well as 24/7 tracking of your order from start to finish.
So far, so good. Build quality is excellent so far. Everything is going together beautifully. The rollers feel great. Yeah, the instructions do suck. I have to say, this one pager, it's fine. it's just could be slightly better for somebody who's new to the hobby or new to assembling 3D printers and CNCs and stuff. It would be a challenge, but it's nothing that can't be overcome. Okay, stringing the belts is not super clear in the instructions, but it's really easy once you do it. Just put one of the T-nuts here, string the belt through, and then T-nut it at the back. And I put all the slack on mine to the back, and someday I'll trim that off, but I'm OCD like that, and I'll have to leave it for now. But they come with these cool little caps that you put over it when you're done, and nothing to it. That went really well. It's a slick design because the belt tension actually holds the gantry down from bouncing, which actually makes it so that you don't have any adjustment needed on the rollers, so to speak. Pretty cool. That's a slick idea. Not only have you got gravity working for you, but the tension of the belt holds the gantry in place, and that maintains our parallelism. And yeah, that's kind of a slick design. I give them credit. And now with the gantry spun around the correct orientation, it looks even better. I always seem to make one of those boneheaded moves on every project. Anyway, that's facing forward this time, so our laser module can just slide right into the dovetail, and slick as could be, we are together. That didn't take long at all. Even with my boneheaded flipperoo, it's only minutes. It's not a big deal. And then our cool little display and HDMI, and we're ready to go. Okay, I'll be honest, this took quite a few minutes to get the cable management to where I think it's going to work best. There's no information in the manual whatsoever, but what you need is full travel, and on the Y, I found no way to get that where it isn't just a little too close for my comfort, but it's fine. We're at the limit here, and then when we come back to the limit switch, and everything is okay, and it clears my zip tie. On the X, it's fine. I had plenty of cable there. Just on the Y, it would have been nice to have just a touch more. And actually, it would be nice on the X too. Just a smidge more, then we could have this, like, I don't think there's any hope of getting this into a drag chain unless I've got something. I have to look at some examples online. I don't see any other way to do it. Yeah, anyway, it would be nice if the manual would have that, but it does not, so live and learn. This is the nicest e-stop I have ever seen. Is that ever classy? First, fire up. Let's go. Laser creates more possibilities. Well, I'm sure it does. And if we go to curve, no SD card. Check this out. In the thumb drive that they sent is a micro SD card. Good job. I detest when these high dollar items come out and there's no SD card and you're out of stock because you got to go find an SD card. And there is some files on there, a butterfly and a dog. I don't think we're quite ready for that because I want to get this thing outside and get it set up in the workshop. This is going to smell. It also bears mention that this screen is awesome and super responsive. This is not a resistive. This feels like a good capacitive one. Very cool. And our axis movement is working just the way it should. Our head moves on command, and if we hit home, do we home? No problem. Happy with that. So I believe we've got our first fail here. Looking at the way our dovetail is mounted for the laser head, this actually only has 2 M4 screws, machine screws through, and there's 2 empty holes here. And if you check this out, look at the slop in this. I don't know whether that's coming across on camera, but there's an awful lot of flex in this gantry. Like, way too much. This down at the bottom of its stroke, this is going to be wobbling all over the place. So if we, yeah, check that out. So You're going to want to keep this sucked up as much as possible, so prop your work up. And these screws don't actually go all the way through. They're dead-ended here. These ones are through, but the other holes are dead-ended. This dovetail is for a different model, and they've reused it. 4 holes, the 4 mounting points, they only use 2 because only 2 line up. So this would be an easy enough mod to change this out and drill and tap. The holes are right in the middle here between the others, so we're going to need a different dovetail to use those other holes. And that would get a little bit of that slop out of there, but it's not great. That's pretty poor that there's only 2 fasteners holding the entire laser to the gantry. That's, yeah, fail. Not too impressed with that. It's too bad. I would have been able to use my new screw assortments that I put together. One more point that should be covered. There is some non-slip rubber provided in the kit for these feet. It's not a great solution. I think it would be better to 3D print something out of some flexible filament, or we'll do like what we did with the other laser, and we'll make a fastener, make a cradle for this and screw it right into a wasteboard. So the reason being is when this gantry gets moving around, this is a fair bit of mass. It is not going to take much for this laser cutter. Actually, I can, there we go. Just moving that, I can move the foot. So this is going to want to dance around on whatever surface we have it on. So they did provide this though. So it's in the kit. I'm probably not going to try and stick that on because it's way too skinny. I'll make something a little bit better. But keep that in mind. That's going to cause wiggles in your line if this, or a downright shift. If this thing can move, it's just going to shift and your work's going to be ruined. So yeah, I think we'll make something and fasten it down. That's no fault of the kit. That's fine. I think this is perfectly adequate for most things. This will stop it from sliding just fine, I think. And yeah, this is really grippy stuff. So we'll do better though. But wait, there's more. From their website, I picked up a pile of cool stuff, and this being just beautiful. This is the Honeycomb work surface, and with it comes another plate, so you actually will have 2 if you order this. That plate will keep you from burning through below, and this will allow us to cut or engrave safely on something. This is kind of really important for cutting. This is kind of mandatory. We also got the air assist, which allows us to cut. I think this is also kind of you need it to do any cutting on any laser cutter. Otherwise, your laser cutter just burns and carries on. You can check out my videos on the K40 laser cutter and see the air assist I put together for that. But this is a ready-made solution, pretty cool, self-contained. It's got all the nozzles and stuff to go on the laser itself. What I really love, we've got our rotary attachment. This allows us to engrave round objects, and the cool part is it came fully assembled and ready to go. It's a really beautiful unit, adjustable for different widths and sizes, and we'll give it a go in an upcoming video too, I think. I've got a lot of round object things to do. So you just plug this in, it's got a stepper motor in it, nothing to it, plug it in on your axes and you're away to the races. When you got that, it gives you these. These are your height adjustments to use your rotary. These are what raise the laser up. I noticed right away these have a non-slip bottom surface on them that will keep the laser cutter from jumping and jiving around, which is super cool. This will lock right onto those legs, so we don't have to worry about that slip stuff. These even have a mounting hole in the bottom. Looks like a 1/4-20. Riv nut in there, so you could probably bolt it right onto things too, which is super cool. That is a beautiful thing. So that'll give us our height. With this height, this should be just beautiful, that we can prop this up just a little bit, and then when we're not using the rotary, we can still bring our table up and keep it at the same height as the rotary would be. And then when we want to do rotary objects, we just go ahead and pull this out. And that's pretty cool. Then we don't have to mess around with their height, and that way we can keep the laser pulled up as high as possible, as close to the center, keep the center of mass in line with the gantry, and then we'll get rid of that wobble as much as possible by keeping this sucked up in there where everything is rigid. So we'll get this up good and high, get our work good and high, as close to the laser as we can, and then we don't need to extend this down. Should work just beautifully. That is a super cool looking piece of kit. It's really pro. The build quality is just fine. It's not quite as heavy duty as my previous laser that I tested, but this will do if you want to see. I have a whole playlist on the channel now devoted to laser cutters and engravers, and we'll just keep testing them out as we move along. Let's get this out to the shop. Before we head outside, I'll show you. I assembled the air assist, no problem. Just put the rubber feet on. The air assist itself comes with a lot of parts in the bag. It looks like it fits multiple different lasers, but once I looked at it, it seems pretty straightforward. What I did is pulled the original lens cover off, or lens protector, and this filter shield that goes there to protect, well, keep some of the beams from coming out to your eyes. I installed the one that was closest in height to the original, so it came with a single that's lower, and then two that are a little bit higher, a little bit longer in the Z direction. I think either could work fine. I don't see any reason why not. And then I'll find the correct filter that comes for that, which I believe is that one right there. That glass should just slide down in there and allow us our little nipple to come out. Should be no problem. Okay, out to the garage. What I did is I just used my existing X-Tool D1 board that I made and flipped it upside down. So now I can do anchors for the Pergear on this side, and whatever laser I'm using, I'll flip it. The video will be linked down below, or you can check out the playlist on my channel of all the laser cutters. So this is the air assist that they sent me as well. This thing is quite amazing. It makes almost no noise whatsoever, but moves one heck of a pile of air. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So it was easy to mount, nothing to it, had no problem there, so pretty simple so far. Question is can we get this to cut? So I did a video on this exhaust fan setup that I made. I don't know whether it's live yet on the channel, but if not, it will be. It's pretty simple, and it should draw the fumes away from our laser cutter here, and should be in good shape to give this thing a try. I see no reason why not. I have the laptop right here to run laser Gerbil, but we'll stick with just the examples that they gave us. Later on, we'll get the rotary attachment out, which is a really amazingly well put together unit. This is a really classy piece of kit, and I can't wait to use this. So what we'll do in the next video, water bottles and give them a go, and we still got to play around with D1 on those too, and we'll see how it goes. There's all my material storage and my CO2 laser cutter. So no stranger to laser cutters here, and this ought to be pretty fun. When you go to use the rotary, they come with these cool extensions, and what I might do, I think my first mod will be is to use these all the time. So we'll put these under and raise the laser cutter up, but we don't want the laser to be all the way down because that'll introduce wobble. What we'll do is we'll lift the bed up and make a raised platform so we get our work as close to the laser cutter head as to the laser diode itself as possible. And yeah, that should be a pretty cool little mod. Really love this touch screen. This is pretty cool. So I like the sounds of a butterfly, and see if we can frame it. That should be on the wood, no problem. What we'll do is we'll drop that laser down a little bit, and we'll leave the air assist on, because we might as well just run with the air assist all the time, because truthfully, I think you should buy one. If you're ever running a laser engraver or cutter, you should just have an air assist. They just make all the difference. So seems pretty intuitive. We hit play. How many passes do we want? Let's try one. And hit yes. Away we go. We can adjust the power and speed while we're in motion here. Pretty cool. And you can just change the amount by which you change it too. So really, really intuitive interface. Without any use of this thing, I could figure it out in no time at all. So I like that. No smoke at all with the exhaust fan running. That is just the way to do it. You need to have an exhaust fan. And I have almost no smell in here whatsoever. That's pretty cool. And we are done. That is near perfection. Wow. That is a thing of beauty. I don't think I can do this justice with this camera. That is absolutely beautiful. Look at the detail. Unreal. So with the air assist, that's the key. Notice there's not one bit of smoke damage, no char, no nothing. It's just perfect. I'm not even going to show you without the air assist because honestly, I don't support running a laser cutter without one. I really don't. There's a lot of danger to it. So I had to hack this in on my CO2, and it keeps the fire risk much lower. You're going to have a fire at some point in your laser cutting. Your work will catch fire. That will be drastically less often if you're running an air assist. The flare-ups just don't happen. It just keeps it much, much cleaner, much, much better all the way around. And for cutting, it's absolutely mandatory. So overall, I'm super impressed with that one. Okay, let's try the other example they gave us here. There's another file on the SD card called Cutting Dog. We'll frame that, which is just a handy function to have. Oh, I guess I can't see the laser there. Bad angle. There is a laser dot that frames it perfectly for you, and we're good. So we can hit go on that. And let's do one for now until we know what this is, because we have no idea. Let's see what comes out. Pretty cool. A lot more smoke this time. That's definitely doing a cut. Quick readjust to my ductwork to get the smoke out, and one pass at that height did not do it. It is an attempt at a cut, and you can see this is with the air assist on about half. This over here is the air assist on full blast. So see the little charring around there? And basically none here. So I can turn it off and it'll just be a charred mess, but I don't want to have a fire today. So what we know we got to do is go a little higher and maybe a second pass. So let's see what we can do. Okay, I've dropped our laser down as low as we can go above the work. That should have us pretty good for focal distance. And we hit go. How many passes? Let's do 2 this time. And hit go. And power is at the max, so should be good to go. Okay, that was 2 passes. Air assist on. And we got it. So that's all the way through. And that is a beautiful, beautiful cut. Unbelievable. That is perfect. Very, very cool. So we've got nice brown around the edges, not black and charred. So what you want is a deep brown. You shouldn't come off on your fingers, and it doesn't. So we have no soot and no crud there. That is a beautiful job. I am quite pleased. Oh man, check that out. I didn't even notice that little piece coming out. Oh, and it fell and it's gone. Unbelievable. That is way, way sharper than what my K40 could ever do. Wow, I'm just gonna punch that out. And there's the other piece. You can see also not torched and perfectly cut out. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. I'm very, very pleased with that. Ignore that line on the back side. There's a scrap piece of wood. That one wasn't cut, that vertical line. That is perfect. So 2 passes, 100% speed on whatever they had dialed in, and we're good to go. That is pretty cool. So the question is should you buy it? Well, I have no idea. I think time will tell. You've got to check back with me about 6 months and I'll have multiple follow-ups and some projects, hopefully. But if you do, the links are down below, and I'd say 100% get their air assist. That is just perfection. The Honeycomb as well. Get the Honeycomb base. It's sadly separate, but that's the way with all lasers now, because I guess it costs them a lot more to ship these in the box otherwise. So air assist, Honeycomb, good to go. Rotary, I think if you're going to do water bottles and stuff, go ahead and spring for it. We'll do a separate video on this all by itself because I think it's a lot. This touch screen is bloody amazing. This should be standard equipment on everything. TF card, the micro SD card facing vertical, easy to get at, love it. Power button, easy to get at, love it. No antennas for Wi-Fi or anything hanging out below that are going to get caught on things. Love it. E-stop. This thing is a thing of beauty. This thing is... Who puts anodized aluminum on them? That is just cool. The negatives. I can see right now this is going to be a problem. The gantry design is suboptimal in my opinion. This hanging so low, you've got a lot of leverage here, and this is going to wobble. Like I showed you at the beginning of the video, the play in here is going to become apparent in your cuts. So you want to keep your work sucked up as close as possible. So that's pretty easy to solve. Just go ahead and bring this up and then raise your work. Like I mentioned before, what we'll do with the rotary stand-ups, we're going to bring the whole thing up, and then we're going to bring this up to match. So then we have one height. We can just adjust our laser, and we can use the rotary or the honeycomb. We just have to support this honeycomb with a little bit of a stand. This being so high, I think they could have sucked this and done an underslung mount and been a lot further ahead. This is just simply way too much leverage, and this is going to wobble no matter what. So that's a weakness of the design, but also a strength. The belt's protected up on top. Things aren't going to get at it. It's not a big problem with needing a drag chain down below. A drag chain would be nice. I said the same on the X-Tool D1. Really should have a drag chain, but this one is at least up and away from the work. The X-Tool was over here and was trying to fold out onto the work. Air assist hose, just have to do something with that. Pretty easy to route that with the wiring. It's really nice silicone hose, really, really nice. So that's the only real negative I see. It went together just fine. I see no other issues there. It's just that gantry design maybe could be a little bit better. The rest is... This is well done. It is a sharp kit, and I just can't get over this touchscreen remote magnetic display that we should be able to stick wherever on, well, not aluminum, but on any mount. You can make a nifty little bracket and mount it up on an angle, which would be a little nicer. Come to think, that'd be good feedback for them. Something that we could tip out or set on there, because most people are going to put this on a table, right? Well, here's me at standing level, and I would like it to be like something like that. And like here we are with the camera, that's in line with my eyes, so that is a significant change. That would be nice, but not a deal breaker, right? You can make that yourself. So that's our first look at this. Like I said, I can't say much right now until we really put it to work, but initial tests, this thing is a rock star. Look at the beautiful cuts. Absolutely beautiful and sharp. That is pretty cool. So there's not much wobble in there. Those are sharp. That's a great little test design. They were smart to include that too with those designs. So yeah, engraving, 10 out of 10. Cutting, I give it a solid 9. The only reason I could do any better would be as if we could get that just a little tiny bit less scorched. But yeah, that's fine. Good to go. Thumbs up.